recording. All right. Okay, so today we've got Morgan and we've got Meredith. And the only other people that RSV for me was Sarah, who gave me a maybe, and Ken, who just said yes, but then he has a conflict, so we won't be expecting him to join. I'm still hoping that some others like Colleen will join, but we'll see. Go ahead and get started. Okay, so we do have a couple of things just to kind of pick up. So one would be for APSA 2027. No, it's like super early, but I feel like we ought to start talking about it. Um, you know, just because the time passes so fast. In the past, we have done like breakout sessions and workshops. I'm sure you guys have seen them before. I don't know if anyone's interested in doing one this year or submitting one for 2027, or if you guys had an idea of what you think might be a good breakout session. Like in the past, we've done mainly, in the past, we've done like people telling about their projects that they have done and troubleshooting. Well, maybe like maybe mainly highlighting challenges that they encountered and how to overcome them. Last year we submitted a proposal that was like a joint one with um, the Quality and Safety Committee. And that idea was to describe or go discuss like a sustainability type project and show how you could make that into like a research agenda, like a research project. And we had it like approaching more from like a QI perspective rather than like, research. And but unfortunately wasn't accepted for a breakout session.
Um, would it, I like that idea though. Would it be worth submitting it again for APSA, that same idea for APSA 2027 and just seeing if there was like, more interest or room in the schedule? Um, I still think it's a good idea to try to think of other ideas, but I like that idea. Like, I think that should have been chosen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Is that something that one of you guys might want to? We basically needed somebody from our subcommittee to work with one person from the other subcommittee. And it was Rochelle who was working with us together on that.
Gotcha.
Um,
I'm not
Rochelle,
up for going to APSA 2027 this year, but I could still help out, I think, even if I wasn't slotted to go. I think I'm slotted to go to 2028. We have like a shared demo.
rotating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I was going to say I'm happy to help as well. I don't know if I'll be able to actually go in person this year, but would be happy
Mm.
to contribute.
I think I was double muted. Hi, sorry, I was scrubbed in.
Hi, I
If
mean,
you
I'm
look at
glad
my,
you're
you
able.
can say anything. I had just said to the crew, like, hey, if you see hear my laptop come alive, it's gonna be people saying hi, and I'm gonna be rudely and not saying hi back, but we'll be finished with this case soon. I was just wondering about this recently, as like Connor, we were talking about, is this where we were working with the like outcomes group? Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And
was it outcomes? I thought it was, well, I guess maybe that's what outcomes is now, but it was quality and safety, I
oh,
think.
you're totally right. It's quality and
Yeah.
safety. I was just
Yeah.
wondering about that the other week. Like, oh, we were talking and kind of kicking around ideas and never heard more.
We
I'm
submitted it and it wasn't accepted.
oh, that's what it was. Okay. I'm
Mhm.
happy to work on something. I've got all these little things in the works, and if somebody wants to help, from their side, make it more give it more structure and some ideas, wonderful. And I will be going to 2027 APSA.
Okay.
So I'll offer it up there.
I'll put Romina and Morgan interested in resubmitting. I can look for my proposal from last time, the proposal that we sent, and I'll send it to you guys.
Thank you. That would be perfect.
I think it was a person named Dan from, I can't remember his last name.
I thought there was a guy on the call
Yeah,
with us one time,
yeah,
right?
there was. It was Raquel and I want to say Dan, who was going to be from their side. Okay. All right. And then, while I've got you on the scavenger, not the scavenger hunt, what I'm talking about, the cleanup project. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
totally. 100%.
You want to go for that again?
Yeah, let's go for it again. Especially,
Okay.
like I say, we've got more lead time this time,
Yeah.
and it's a city where I know some people and have some familiarity. I'll start working on that now.
Okay. One thing we learned was that we needed to submit the idea to the program committee like early. So if there was like a time we could stick into the schedule that would be open for people to actually be able to go and clean.
Yeah. Okay. I'll actually be there in 2 weeks visiting my folks too. So I'll get to work and hopefully I'll have updates for you probably, Linda, before then, but certainly for the group before the next meeting.
That would be great. Um, so one thing I will say, Shumpei, who trained in San Diego, was like, what beach cleanup? He made it seem like the beach was very clean. I don't know. Maybe that would be something to like check out to see if there is like and if the beach is in fact really clean, there might be another place that we could do.
It's a big city. There's a lot of beach. There's a lot of city. There's a lot of parks.
Right, right.
There's tons of substrate. So
Gotta be. And I keep seeing, I don't know why, but on my Instagram reel, I keep seeing this person cleaning up parts of New York City. Do you guys? I don't know. It's just my algorithm.
Well, mine will pick it up now that we're talking about it.
Oh shoot.
It's okay. That's cool.
Sorry, Meredith.
I'm into that.
It'll be cool. You'll like it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So maybe so that's APSA 2027. Okay, then the manuscript, I haven't heard anything back from Colleen about this, but I'm going to meet with her tomorrow. I think we sent it to Nature Sustainability. It's an open access one. I think that's where it is now, and I haven't heard. So we'll see. That's that manuscript that we had written. And then the next item I had on the agenda was about the podcast. You guys have heard about that, right? It's called Operation Advocacy. I don't know if you guys have listened to any of the prior episodes.
Yeah, I think you and Ken had mentioned that last meeting, and
Mhm.
I listened to now have listened to all three of them. They're very
Oh,
good.
yeah.
The e-bike one especially was like
Right.
wild. Yeah.
The e-bike one was really good. Um, and the next one, this one for August should be coming out soon, I think. I can't remember the topic off the top of my head. And then sustainability will be in September. So we're going to I'll be meeting with Colleen tomorrow to kind of go over it. We do have like a script sort of put together with our list of questions, which next week we're going to need to send out to our two guest speakers. And then we need to like arrange for a mic night, sort of like a mic check, sound check night. And then we'll actually record the interview on September 11th. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys. Okay, so on September 11th, we'll actually do the recording. And yeah.
So then you must already have the people nailed down. Because I think in my notes
Yes.
from last time you were tossing around a couple of names.
Right. We do have the name, the people. Um, one is Aparna. Can't remember her last name. Hold on. Let me see. So
That's okay. I just, but it sounds like you have already figured it out.
Yeah. So one is Bole. Gosh, I'm gonna have to remember. But her last she's Aparna Bole, and she's a pediatrician. And I think her main thing, she's done a ton. Like both of these guys CV is crazy. But one of the things that she did that kind of sparked our interest was she was really involved in the Flint's water crisis and kind of bringing that to light. So that's Aparna Bole, and she's a pediatrician. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I mentioned that. The other is a guy named John Balbus, and he's a like a occupational health, environmental medicine physician, and both of them like worked in the Department of Human Health and Services, Office of Climate Change and Health Equality. He was like the deputy assistant director, and she was like a senior consultant or something like that. Um, and that was during, I think, the Biden administration. So a lot of things have changed, and one of the challenges that we're going to have to like navigate is to not make it political, because that's me. And Colleen is probably better about it, but like I'm not good about it. So we'll have to ask these questions, and some questions are like, how can we do make changes with sustainability and like environmental responsibility and good stewardship and have it stick or be sustaining? I feel like those are questions that will lead us down a bad track, but we have to like, keep ourselves on the straight and narrow. I have to think what would Ken say, what would Ken say if I put this out. So, okay. But that's where we are with the podcast. So we'll be looking forward to updating you guys in September about how that's going. And so we'll record on the 11th, and then for like the next 2 weeks will be a series of like editing, cutting, and probably re-recording things that like got messed up. And hopefully we will be able to put it out at the end of September. Like Leslie wants us to have these podcasts ready at the beginning of the month, but due to scheduling issues, we all are going to only be able to get together like September 11th. So, okay. So that's that. Last time we had talked about a couple of other ideas, which I think are really good ideas to keep in our back pocket for the next podcast, because our cycle will come around again to us contributing to the podcast. And like Joanne had talked about presenting projects like greening the OR, the projects that people have done. And, I think that those are really great ideas too. Okay, and then next had this thing about articles of interest. I haven't we haven't been asked to submit an article of interest yet, but I don't know if you guys have seen anything interesting, like just kind of maybe put a bookmark on it. But they'll start asking again for articles of interest, and we could submit something to that. Okay, and then still just the four of us. There was another one that was about the next item on the agenda is about the ACS Sustain Subcommittee, and I was looking to see if Colleen had signed on, but it doesn't look like she has. This is something that she had asked for one of us to be a representative, but I haven't heard anything more about this. It's the American College of Surgeons. I guess they're creating a committee, and they want representatives from the different professional groups. So anyways, I don't have much more to say about that right now.
I just saw it when you sent out the agenda, and I was really taken back. I was like, whoa, ACS did something. I didn't know. Way to go, Colleen. She's on there. I looked on it and I dug, and it looks like Mahul's got his hands in there too.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm so eager to hear more from her.
Yeah. I don't know anything more about it.
Okay. I
So,
apologize that I'm like the Sal on-call guy, so I'm just juggling appies. It's nothing glorious, but I'm gonna turn my video off so it's not distracting as I'm moving around and stuff. But I'm listening, and if you say something I don't hear it, just holler at me or send me a message.
okay, no worries.
Thanks as always, Linda.
Okay. All right. Then the next thing would be kind of moving through our agenda quickly. But we just had like kind of like an open thing for new business. If any of you guys had something you wanted to talk about or bring up or propose to the subcommittee.
I don't think I've really solidified anything since our last meeting. Like I've definitely been rolling around in my mind some of the things that others had brought up, like the how to unprotocolize the nonsense, like the smoke-a-back bovies and stuff like that. But nothing that's sort of like settled out into like a action item yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You know what, for me, I have been trying to work on at Mount Sinai, trying to get rid of the disposable isolation gowns, and I need to get back on it because one of our big um, one of our big obstacles to that was this guy in the supply chain who was like really against it, and like he had like already worked on it with somebody a couple years ago, I think during COVID or right after COVID. And he was like, no, it's not going to work. Apparently he's left and there's a new person. So I need to get on that. I need to email that person and like put out feelers to see what they're more willing to work on that project. Yeah, but I think that will be a good one if we can switch from throwing away bags and bags and bags of those yellow isolation gowns. Do you guys use the disposable or do you guys use reusable?
We're using reusable at this moment. I've been in institutions that have used both, but I mean, health is using the reusable, um, which I think is working okay. I haven't heard any talk of us wanting to change that. So
We use the disposable ones as well, unfortunately.
Mm. Which place in Ellis in Louisiana are you in?
We actually go to 15 different hospitals between Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans. So we rotate in 3 different cities. So we kind of are all over the place. But I would say we spend half our time in New Orleans. So kind of several hospitals there. But
Wow, I'm sorry.
yeah, no, it's okay. If we didn't have such good clinical experiences the other places, I think we would complain more. But we are really happy with those experiences. So it's worth it.
Let's see. So Ramin says still disposable here. Trying to build support for laundered ones, lots of financial corporate. Yeah, I had the same experience as Ramin. I had a very, oh, I do have somebody who's very um um interested in listening, and that's the actually it's the chief the medical chief sustainability officer. She's actually very like interested. But when we were talking about everything and bringing people on board, there were a lot of like obstacles. I'd already told you about the supply chain guy. He was like, "Oh, the numbers don't work out. They're never going to work out." Like, okay. Then the other thing that I found that was that was a surprise was actually the like the PICU, because our idea was that we would trial it like as a pilot in the PICU, which is kind of like a little contained, unit, and they have regular need for isolation gowns and stuff like that, and we would just switch theirs over. And so just to do that part, one of the things I needed to do was just to count the number of gowns that were being used, like the disposable ones, like in the current time phase. So I was counting them, and then I said, okay, well, why don't I get a medical student to like do the counts for me, like on the days that I'm not there, because I'm only there for like 1 week out of the month. And then I was like, oh, the medical student needs like to be approved. They can't be observing. They can't like da da da. I'm like, well, they're not observing anything. All they're doing is just going to go there and count the gowns. No, no, they can't. Like, they have to get like. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was crazy. I was like, there's students there. This is they work there all the time. Why would? So there was that.
yeah, that seems like I feel like supply chain should be able to give you those numbers. Like how many are they buying?
they did give me the numbers, but then it was like those numbers, the
They wanted it just for PICU or something.
no, the numbers that we were really high,
Oh, yeah.
like 3,000
Yeah.
a week or something like that. And so we wanted to confirm with an actual
Gotcha.
count to make sure, like, okay, yeah, that's really what it was. Because remember, this guy was like really like not on board. So he was giving us these numbers that we were like, okay, well, yeah, that does sound like, hell of a lot. So yeah, that was tough. Anyways, I'm gonna
I
try
feel like
try.
that should be like even more like the fact that the number is high should be like even more of a reason to make the switch, right?
I like what you're thinking, Meredith. I do.
I think you're right. I think you're right on the money in that you need to that finding a new supply chain person would be helpful.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
because in my experience with the greening the ore stuff, like having the right supply chain person at the table makes everything move so much quicker. Like they just make things happen. Um, so, and I also wonder if the outgoing or person who gave you an unsatisfactory answer, perhaps if there was like a contract thing. Like I don't remember who makes the disposable gowns, but do they have some sort of contract with them that they get a deal on the Bovies if they buy the gowns or whatever? I don't know.
Mm,
But we just
mm,
went through that with we were not able to buy the reprocessed ligatures because of a contract limitation with the generators that just expired in July. And so now we are able to buy reprocessed ligatures, which we were not able to previously. So sometimes there's some like weird
stupid
contract
thing
things
going
that we
bad.
just don't know about that supply chain does. So I think you're right that reaching back out to the to supply chain is it would move things along for you.
Yeah. Okay, well, we all have our small battles to fight.
Yes, we do.
The whole gown thing was one of the potential examples that we were going to use for that joint press breakout session at APSA 2026. Like I was going to talk about the challenges that I
Yeah.
faced and the numbers and like stuff like that that I had to get. And the road counting and meeting, talking about like how much things will cost, including laundering. We contract laundering with the company and like how much that would cost and stuff like that. So it was like that was one of the potential projects we were talking about. But if you guys have like ones that you're working on or that's like in the works, um, that might be a nice one to bring up to like dissect and have somebody from the other committee say, oh, okay, well, if you have this project, then you can also um, add in these sort of things or continue or from the beginning collect these sort of variables so that you can turn this into like a quality improvement project or like a research project. Because like I'm approaching this from like, I just want to get this done. Like, what do I need to do to get this done? Who do I need to talk to? What are the people I need to find? Like it's hard to like think of both pieces at the same time as you're working. Not that good. Okay. All right. Keep talking about that and working on turning those things over. And if you guys have projects, I'd love to hear about them too. I think it's always really helpful to revisit because now you guys reminded me I do need to push that forward. Um,
There's always something.
there's
I
always
would,
something.
I don't know if Ramin's still on, but I had like, I'm looking at my notes from last meeting and I had wrote down Ramin plastic recycling. I don't really know what I meant, but I didn't know if that had
Oh
meant that Ramin
yeah.
had made any headway on plastic recycling and had any insight to share on that.
And that was also about Trex.
Yeah, exactly. I wrote Ramin Trex volume issue plastic recycling, but now, of course, like 2 months later, I have no idea what that meant.
Let's see if
But
he's able
he
to
may be
jump
doing
on.
important clinical things.
Yeah. Ramin, can you hear us? Let's see. I don't think he can. He's still on mute. Ramin,
Maybe
can you
next
hear us
time.
about can you tell us about the Trex project or thing that you were doing?
Sorry, I heard you, and then I was double muted.
Muted again.
Yeah, the soft plastics recycling, the Trex thing.
How's that going?
I've got
Yeah.
some data gathered and things together. And what I sorry, give me just a second. I saw me. She's there with mom. She's pretty miserable.
Okay, all right.
She was gonna try and pee, but
Okay.
yeah.
Lamar's doing it. He's
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Sounds good. Thanks, Stephen. Good to see you. Sorry, you guys. The where I'm really stuck, and this is like where, and then this is a problem for us in general, I think, as we try to gather information in this realm, right? And share information, share projects, like publish on it. Where does it go? That's the hard thing. So I know, Linda, you said something earlier about an open access journal you had looked at. And I had asked Colleen before, like, hey, tell me some ideas of journals where you, like, where's the right audience? Where we submit these things to? That's where I'm hung up in this project. So,
Mm. Uh, um, we can definitely help with that. When we were, let me see. Have you written up your work with the
yeah, it's not in any final manuscript, but
oh,
it's like, it's like sketched together. All the elements are there. It needs a bit of, polishing and finishing and stuff, but it's about 85% there.
okay, let me see. Okay, potential journal targets. Okay. Let me just uh let me just see if I can copy paste this into the chat or just share screen. See how
Cool.
this goes. Okay, well, it goes across like crap. Okay. Um yeah, let me share screen so you can see, and then I can send this to you.
Okay.
Um where's share? Okay, so Colleen and I had looked and put together, like a little table of journals
Yeah.
targets. And so why is this thing here? Okay. So journal sustainability,
Okay.
and then this is impact factor if it has it, and
Oh,
the
great.
PubMed index.
Very
I
cool.
want to keep it to something that's PubMed index because that's the only way that Mount Sinai cares whether or not you publish is if it's PubMed indexed. And I think YouTube
Yeah.
is like that too.
Yeah.
And then there's another journal called Sustainability. There's Sustainability Science, Journal of Sustainability Research that's not indexed, and uh, International Journal of Sustainability and Higher. I don't know about this one. Sorry, this one may not be helpful for you. But these are the ones that we were looking at for here. Let me just forward it to you.
That's so great. I mean, those are honestly sort of more surprising impact factors than I would have expected. And I'm not like you. I long ago got away from chasing those coins and fluffing my CV with those things. But it's truly more about, I don't want to sound cheesy about it, but I really think it's about putting your ideas or lessons learned out there and finding the right audience who wants to
Who cares?
read that and build on
Yeah.
it for themselves, right? So that's wonderful. Thanks for sending that.
Yeah, no problem. Um, like, so about the treks, like, have you been able to like connect those supply lines?
Yeah, so what I did was I've got like a moderate catalog of different products, like soft plastic packaging products from around the OR, things from like ventilation mask bags that they come in, to Tegaderm wrappers, to the heavy plastic bags that case packs come in, and have worked with Trex to have all those analyzed to what is high value, medium value, and unacceptable for soft plastic recycling. And was kind of interesting in all that is that I reached out to them and said, for you guys, for Trex, this is potentially a bit of advertising, right? Puts word out there for one particular company doing soft plastic recycling. And do you guys want any part of this? Do you have engineers or project people on your side who want to partner and have their name somewhere or some credit for this or something, or work together? And they talked with their managers and people or whatever, and they came back and they said, no, we think we don't. We love that you're going to do it and put it out there, but we don't need to be involved or help make the sausage. And I was like, okay, it's totally fine. I actually just didn't want to feel like I was running away with Scoop and didn't you know,
Yeah.
you join in the fun. So, so
I
anyway,
didn't want
that's
to like just take it and like publish it unless you guys like were
Right.
okay with that. But
Right. So, and then there's part of it was like getting their okay to potentially,
yeah.
out them. But I mean, that's only to it helps them. So that was part of it. It's like analysis of those products is kind of one piece of it. Another piece of it is looking at, I sampled some like 60 cases or something and looked at the percentage of waste, which was soft plastic, and the percentage of waste, which was blue wrap, which this dovetails with a whole nother project about blue wrap.
Hmm.
And then the point, I mean, kind of like my dream point to push with it at the end of sharing the data and observations or whatever is to say, we as consumers will I think we have some opportunity to place pressure on product manufacturers to say, when you give us a product, we actually want to know that the packaging it's in fits in some circular, material cycle. Not that it's a single use, not that it's destined to go in the ground. And I'm not good at dreaming and being inventive in that way, but so I feel like if I can see that that's somewhat tangible, it's not just a pie in the sky, it's probably reasonable that if they start hearing that from people more and you say, well, here's our stapler and here's those guys' stapler, and you go, okay, well, how come your stapler is packaged in non-recyclable hard plastic? Or why do you package it in a number 6 instead of a number 1, which is more universally accepted? They go, oh, crap, we didn't know that people actually cared about this. I say this to reps all the time about stuff, but those are kind of the elements of that paper as I've put it together. And maybe you tell me, Linda, if you're up for it, the group's up for it, I can get it into a little more finished up format and put it to our group to say, like in the physics realm, we do this all the time. We have like a preprint world where, you get a paper, it's ready for publication, and then you share it with your colleagues and you put it on the shelf in a department as the way it used to be. Now it's posted online. And you just say, hey, anybody like shoot holes in it, find something wrong I did or an idea that I missed or something. And it's just asking for work of people. But if people are up for reading at it and saying, yeah, you missed a point, or can you build something here better within our little family than some reviewer somewhere to poke holes in it.
Yeah. Well, dang, Ramin, sounds like you've got like half of the key. Like you got like what the recycler wants.
Mhm.
And like, I don't know what it is. I'm very curious to know.
Right.
And then if we put together, if we put together something like a draft like letter or something that can go to like Morgan's hospital or Meredith's hospital or my hospital and just be like, the undersigned are curious, and send it to, I don't know if you know of like a particular example where like Ethicon particularly does not care about the plastic packaging, and we're all like, well, hey, then we'll like all just switch to, like whatever it is. I don't know.
Right.
But like, hey, I
I
think that would be a great thing to be able to do.
I haven't figured it out that exactly yet, and it's not as beautifully tidy as where I'm like, oh, the Ethicon stapler versus the Covidian stapler, and one
Yeah.
packaging recyclable, one's not. But I'm starting to as I'm breaking down stuff, and like, you've seen my little shelving area in the
Yeah.
past. As I break down stuff and figure out Project Cure, Skills Lab, Vet School, whatever, or just recycling. Um, I'm starting to take more and more notes by company, who's got products, and with what frequency I'm seeing products from certain manufacturers where they're not using, say, recyclable hard plastics in their, sterile packaging for things.
Yeah. 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 I mean, we're not asking about the stapler. We're asking about just the
Mhm.
packaging. And that
Yeah,
would be actually really cool to look through your shelves and be like, oh, like, this company, they're always just like none of their stuff comes off the shelf and goes into like a bin to go get recycled.
right,
Most of their stuff
right.
goes right in the trash because I can't put it into one of these bins. But
You start
another
calling those
company,
guys out.
yeah,
So
Yeah, that's like yeah, like to Linda's point, you're way ahead of the game. You have like that already have that data and sort of idea what to do with it. Yeah, I'd be happy to review a manuscript and help with this in any way. I think this is a great project.
awesome.
Yeah, I'd like to take your paper and take it to our like medical sustainability officer. I'm really
Yeah.
bad with names and like titles. I hope you guys notice that. And like take it to her and say, hey, like whoever our supply chain people are, like I'd like for you to look over this, see if you agree with this, and like let's send it to them from Mount Sinai.
We get, if we all started, this could be something we could all kind of pal up on and
Yeah.
we start creating like a report card of medical device
Oh, you should
manufacturers,
publish
right?
that. We
Yeah,
should make a
Yeah, what
report
about a
card and
report
publish
card
it.
on, I like it. This
yeah.
just kind of like this came to me as we were
Oh my
talking, like let's
God. See,
start
that's why we
giving
need to talk
people
about
grades.
these guys.
Nobody gets an A plus.
But and intuitive gets an F and they need to be like held to
Yes.
the fire. Like this is like I feel like this is the first step in like pushing intuitive to like come to terms with the fact that they're killing the planet.
Yep. This is another side project. I've been talking with some of our residents because we see residents from a couple of different programs. And, people have different levels of obsession with robotics. And I've drunk the Kool-Aid. I'm leading our robotics charge here. But we have some of these residents who come from hospitals. They're like, oh, yeah, our surgeons do every appendectomy laparoscopically. And I was like, oh, that's really sad. That makes me weep for the earth. That's really, I just think that's overkill. I mean, it's unhappy. And so I've told him I want to recruit some of these guys to look at average waste production and time for like straight stick laparoscopy versus um, robotic appendectomy. Just that straightforward, basic, simple case that is one of the most high volume things that is done, right?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, intuitive doesn't get a good grade. I've let their reps know.
We need to do this for me.
I love it. Linda's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, yes, definitely. I think that's a really exciting project to do. Anyway, okay. Anybody have any else? Any thoughts? Any other thoughts? Um, there was one more thing that kind of came across my desktop. I don't know if you guys saw this in your inbox, but there was like what is it called? Like a pack something. A surgeon's pack. Did you guys see that?
No.
I think it's with the American College of Surgeons, the Political Action Committee arm of it. And I just got something in my inbox and I was like, oh, okay. They're doing like a state challenge and ranking like which states have the most like participation with it. DC is good at 4.2%, so not much. Anyway, it seems like it's very low. Um, anyways, it just
Challenge
came.
for political activism involvement, or you talking about recycling?
No, it's not about recycling. Sorry. I was going off on a different tangent there. Just kind of like advocacy and stuff like that. Um, and anyways, um, I think this is just like how many of your surgeons participate or contribute to the Surgeons Political Action Committee PAC, Surgeons PAC. And I'm completely going off a different tangent. I'm sorry, Ramin. I should have like prefaced that. And I was looking into it and I was like, oh, I don't know if like this is something that APSA should like, send out to their membership or not, and what the Political Action Committee actually accomplishes. And I was like, oh, has anyone done a study about that, or has there been any reporting? And interestingly, I'm gonna share screen again because I just think it's easier for you guys to see what I'm looking at. There was a study. An analysis of political contributions by the American College of Surgeons Professional Association, Surgeons PAC. This was published in 2024. And just to get down to the gist of it, basically, Surgeons PAC donated 57% to Republicans and 43% to Democrats, and found that the Republicans that they supported voted 50-50 on ACS priorities. but the Democrats voted more frequently than the Republicans in the Democrat-led Congress, different Congresses. So anyways, I don't know. I didn't know if we should, what do you think? Do you think this is something we should say, hey, APSA should,
ACS has been backing the wrong horses.
yeah.
I mean, it sure looks like it, right?
Yeah.
It's like a flip of the coin to give it to the Republican Party, but the Democratic Party is actually more aligned. That's interesting. The two senior authors on there are both attendings of mine from residency. Hanman Lee's a
Really?
pediatric surgeon. Yeah, Hanman Lee's a pediatric
Oh
surgeon.
yeah, he is.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't see
Andre
him.
Campbell's
I don't know who
a
that is.
trauma critical care surgeon at San Francisco General.
Funny.
Got a voice like James Earl Jones.
Well, this
That's
was an
really interesting.
interesting, right? I just wanted to
Wow.
bring up with you guys. I don't know if I sent it to Colleen. I was like, hey, I don't know, Colleen, because they're always asking for, um, we're part of the advocacy committee. So like, what do we want to have our voices speak out about? And so I was like, I don't know, is this something that we want to have APSA join? Maybe not. Okay. All right.
That's interesting. That's eye-opening. Thanks for sharing. I won't volunteer to dive into that. I won't get anywhere. If I talk anything about politics these days, I just threaten myself having a stroke anyway, because it's
Yeah,
just hard to see any of it or understand it. But
I'll just say it.
interesting.
I don't want to get involved with that. Seems like they're backing the wrong horse, just like you said.
Yeah.
I do think though if a goal of this group is to increase participation, that putting out some sort of scorecard with baseline metrics always motivates people. Like people don't like to see that they're, not in first place, especially pediatric surgeons who are highly, motivated and competitive individuals to begin with. So I don't know, I like similar to Ramin, this is not kind of my area of expertise, but if it is a goal of this group to increase like participation in such a committee, then I definitely agree with you that like a state challenge or kind of like advertising who's doing what would motivate people.
Yeah. It kind of motivated me until I looked into it and I was like, oh, I don't want to get involved with this. These guys are like, if that skew was like way more towards like, Democratic candidates, then I would be like, oh yeah, definitely. I care. Now I'm like, I don't know if I care. Tell me more. Tell me more what
Those
where our politics are these days.
Those, I'm curious to look at that a little more. I'm not suggesting that either Hanman Lee or Andre Campbell I don't think they're involved in the political action committee, and they're not like Republican leaning that way. They're both pretty liberal guys. I know one surgeon who's involved with the PAC because he was a pediatric surgeon in this community who left to go full time do that work for the ACS in Washington, D.C. and is a pretty conservative guy.
Mm.
I, my impression of that paper was just that they were just saying, hey, here's the facts. Here's where your
Yeah,
money's been going. That's
right.
good to know.
That's good to know. I'm
Yeah.
glad that they put that out.
Hmm.
Some good stuff.
But also,
Just
I would have to look at it too, because I guess I had sort of interpreted it like the Democrats are already in our camp, so you don't need to waste your money on them. Like, give your money to the Republicans and win them over. But that was like literally just me reading the one line in the conclusions of the abstract. I'll look at the paper.
I put it there in the chat if you want to click it and look at it. All right. Okay, Morgan, do you have anything that you wanted to add or anything about Ramin's idea before I totally took us
Oh
on a
no,
segue?
I thought that was a great idea and would love to hear more about that. I was just gonna say I'll do some research and try and think of some articles of interest that maybe would be applicable to this group going forward and
Oh, okay,
suggest
great.
those.
Thanks, Morgan.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, guys. I think that's going to be it for tonight. It was a little bit of update, hopefully some real good new direction to go. And I look forward to talking to you guys next month.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye.
Linda.
Thank y'all
Thanks,
so
guys.
much.
Thanks for letting me chit chat a bit. And Linda, thanks as always for keeping us organized and moving forward.
No problem.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Y'all have a good night.